What's going on, good people? Today, Akai released the MPC Keys 37. I've been getting like a lot of DMs, a lot of phone calls and text messages, and everybody been wanting to know my opinion on it. So I said, I'm just gonna make a video. You know, if you watch any of my videos, you guys see that I use the Akai MPC Keys 61. I've had it since July of last year. I actually bought it as a birthday gift for myself. It probably sat in here on the floor for probably like 2 months before I even popped the seal on it because I was using, you know, some other things. But the 37 to me, I was shocked that they, made that unit so quick. Because the 61 keys to me could have been perfected a lot more. My biggest issue with the 61 keys is after eight, like plug-in instruments like the hype or the fabric, once you load eight of those, the machine taps out. And when I started making tracks, like I was making tracks with like a Triton and a Phantom and a Motif, and this was like back in what 2005, 2006. These devices had 16 track recorders in them. So to me, it's 2023 and RAM and storage space is very cheap to get. And it's like, why is this newer machine tapping out at eight instruments when a machine in '05, '06 can do 16 tracks? So that was always like a head scratcher. And I was like, well, over time they might make an update, and it'll get better. But obviously, I guess that's just the way they're gonna operate and the way they're gonna move. And I just know from a business standpoint, I think the new machine is like 900 opposed to this one was like maybe 1600 or something like that. They're not finna give you more options and more capabilities in a smaller, cheaper machine than their bigger machine. That's just not how business works. They're not gonna do that. So I was like, wow, I guess they just gonna keep that. And you know what I'm saying? Roll with it. Because like, when you're making a track, like especially like arrangement, once you got like a chord structure and you got like melodies and counter melodies and string lines and bass lines, like those tracks eat up and go away very quick. Especially like if you're a person like me that like, stacking and layering sounds. Like when you're creating, you're almost creating like, okay, like I know this has limitations or what have you. And I know people gonna say, well, you use it in your video. Yeah, I use it in the videos, but these are not full productions. These are just mock ideas. Like I'll go layer it with a sound from the JV or maybe something in Reason or maybe a plug-in, and I'll make it fatter in that way. And just in those videos, they just just to show off and just basically show how I get down and show the production, but it's not basically like it's not the final dish. You're just seeing how I'm scoping and where my mind is, when I'm making music or what have you. Now I will say this. The 37 is cool if you're moving around and it's a travel piece and it's something for you to like, start an idea on. But I mean, I don't see myself like, finishing nothing like that, finishing on that machine. And then too, like I play a little bit, so I like a bigger, at least like a 61 key, so I can, play in half octaves or whatever. Like I hate playing tight. I can, but if it's up to me, I would rather have like a bigger keyboard or what have you. But I'm just thinking it's like I really thought that they were going to get better with the 61 before they branched off onto something else. But then too, once again, a business mind says that the way Akai is moving, like their new customers or what have you, they didn't start out on these older sequencers like myself and some of you guys. So like a lot of these people that's using these machines, they don't even know about like the motifs and the phantoms and the tritons with the 16 track recorders in there. So you're catering to people that it's kind of easy for that stuff to go past the rabbit hole because they know nothing about having recorders where you can do multiple and more tracks. So like what I'm saying to some people is even sounding like gibberish because they never was able, or have used those type of devices or those type of machines. And a little bit of me feels like, man, well maybe Akai is just trying to phase some of us old heads out or what have you, and then this is just a new standard and a new direction, they're going, because even if you ask some cats, I believe you took a poll and you said, would you rather have more tracks or would you rather have, like more tricks, like the little stuff you can do that's kind of like gross beat and effect tricks, like all that little ear candy and all those little trinkets. I'm pretty sure they'll probably take the trinkets over, the tracks. And I'm just one like all that ear candy, all that's cool, but I'd rather just play the music. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just my ear candy and my tricks. I'd rather just be like a smooth lick or like some cool chords. So it's cool if you just starting out and you want to get your hands on the MPC, and if somebody asks me, okay, which one would I get? Like the MPC Live or the MPC one or the 37? I would probably tell you get the 37 because you got all of those functions basically in one. It's just a smaller, condensed version. You might not be able to produce, some crazy big full on stuff, but you have like an appetizer, I would say, right there or what have you. But like when you just talk about like, it's saying it's supposed to be a synthesizer workstation, like in my mind, when you say synthesizer workstation, then I'm like, oh, so you finna be able to compete with the motifs and the phantoms and the new Korg stuff and all that. But in actuality, you can't even record as many tracks as those. So basically, that just disqualifies you from the competition right from the door. Even though some of the sounds in there they cool and all, but just tracks, man, tracks. But hey, in the comments, you tell me what you guys think and where your mind is at with it, and if you would get one, man.